Hello, hello, saluth. I am the Rasta Witch. Here's where we learn the way of the Yan Sui Rasta, which is to say, my kind of Ital. Please subscribe and begin your own kind of Yan Sui witchcraft. All roads lead to Rome. Home. Okay, so today we are on the court cards finally, and we're going to start with the kings. But first of all, the court cards, let's explain. They're the royal family. The court cards represent either other people in the person in question's life or an aspect of themselves or yourself, if the reading's for yourself, the individual. For example, if other people, if it represents other people in the person's life, the king represents father figures, mature men, or bosses over 35. If it's for you, it's the qualities of yourself. So the king would represent your mature, qualified, experienced qualities like enterprise, command, and skill. So we have in each suit a king. We have we have in each thing we have the kings, in each suit the queens, the knights, and the pages. So the king, of course, gives the order. The queen makes the order doable and real, and the knight does it, and the page develops it. So it's kind of like the father. It's time to eat dinner. And the mother made the dinner, but the son and the daughter eat it. Kind of like that. So let's look at this chart here and look at it Kabbalistically. So here we have the Sephirot. The king corresponds. It doesn't correspond. They're not correspondences. They're just associated with it. The king is associated with number 2, Kokma, and the queen is associated with number 3, and the knight is associated with Tiferet, number 6, and the page is associated with number 10, Malkut. Or you can look at it with the tetragram, Yod, Che, Bao, Che. Yod is like the king, Che is like the queen, Bao is like the knight, and then final Che, fire, water, air, earth, is like the page, because the page develops it, and earth is manifest. So today we're looking at the kings. The kings, like I said, are associated with number 2, Kokma, in the Sephirot. They represent, like I said, father figures, mature men or male bosses over 35, or if the reading's for you, your mature commanding skills or qualities. The king is a mature mastery of the powers of the given suit. Okay, so let's start with the King of Wands. Okay, so here you can see the King of Wands in the Thoth deck. Lots of reds and yellows. It's fiery energy. The King of Wands. The King of Wands is a master of fire. You can see on his cape there. You got what's that? Virgo and Sagittarius. So if you look at the King of Wands here, it's we got we got salamander right there, and if you look on his cape, there's like salamanders eating its tail, and there's even salamanders up there on his throne, with a lion. A lion is a Leo. That's like a fiery sign. They used to associate Sagittarius in history with fire. I've even heard before that some people believed way back when that if you put a salamander in the fire, don't do this. It's just how people believe stupid things in the past, that the salamander could live through the fire, and there's lots of connections with wand energy and fire energy. You can see that he is just, with his red clothes and his giant wand, he is just a master of fire energy and wands, So he, as a king, He is a hard worker. He's very warm and good-humored, loyal, honest, and generous. He finds new direction in spirituality and vitality. He is competitive, passionate, maybe an ardent lover. He is a macho man. He is prideful and swift, a master of fire. He's influential, confident, and comfortable in his own skin. He once was a salamander. You know, the king is the king, you know. He gets it done. Okay, now we move to the King of Cups. Notice that says the Knight of Cups. So in the Thoth deck, it's not King, Queen, Knight, and Page. It's the King is called the Knight, and then the Queen, and then the Prince and the Princess. So don't get confused. It says the Knight, but in this deck, the King is called the Knight. In the Thoth deck, I don't really get why, but you know, you don't. Anyway, moving on. You can look here. Here's the King of Wands in the Sephiroth deck. And what do we got there? Gemini and Aquarius. You know, so this is my favorite one. This is you know, the Herbal Tarot deck is my favorite deck, which is based on the Rider-Waite, if you haven't noticed by now. So look at him. He's the King of Water. He's the King of Cups, you know. And so like water energy is like emotional, intuitive, you know, visionary energy, you know. But look, he's not in the water. He's a master of water. He's not drowning in the emotions, you know. He's emotionally mature. He's up on a rock. He's got a giant cup with water in it. And look at the playful nature of the water. See the little fish in the water? You know, it's a playful thing to him because he's mastered it. You know, he's not scared of it. He's confident in his emotional maturity. You know, he offers deep understanding of the human condition. He's a good friend, a wise counsel, and a guiding hand. He understands sadness because he has experienced it firsthand. He finds new direction in matters of emotional fulfillment. He is sensitive, a visionary. He is very convincing and looked up to for what others think he knows. He's emotionally mature. Okay, now we will move to the King of Swords. The king of the powers of air energy, which is like words and mindsets and thoughts and intellectual energy. So here we'll look at in the Sephiroth deck. What do we got? Gemini there, and up there Saturn. So he is the king of air, the king of words and intellectual. So here, if you look in my deck, I've got the Lord of the Rings Tarot's King of Swords. It says, Aragorn is crowned as King of Gondar and takes the Lady Erwin as his bride and queen. You know, like I said, he's the king. You know, he's number 2, Kokma. You know, so if you remember in the Lord of the Rings, he doesn't marry Lady Erwin till like the end of Return of the King. It's like one of the last things that happens at the end of the story. You know, so he's really come a long way with his sword. You know, and fought a lot of battles, and you know, all the kings have really, you know, come from somewhere. You know, remember the king of Wands was once a salamander. You know, Aragorn was once a boy that didn't even know how to fight with a sword, and now he's king and he's married Lady Erwin. You know, so Aragorn, if you know in the movie, Aragorn is the decision maker. He makes good calculated use of his mental skills to create a professional, or in this case, a royal path. He is a fanatical truth seeker, the apex of integrity in all worldly pursuits. A piercing glance. He's not a petty man. He's the King of Swords is the law. You know, he's the sheriff or the king. He's the status quo. You know, so he's a bit too rigid, but he is a man with a powerful mind, an author. He protects the weak, and his weakness is overthinking. Okay, now we go to the King of Discs. Discs is earth energy. That's like probably one of the cooler pictures in the Thoth deck. Look at that. It's really something else, isn't it? So here we'll look at the King of Discs in the Sephiroth Tarot. What is that? Virgo and Leo. That's also one of the cool. Look at that. Is such a cool picture, don't you think? I love that. Okay, so now we'll look at the one in my deck. In this case, it's the Lord of the Rings Tarot. It says, Treebeard, the ancient spirit of earth. Remember Treebeard? Treebeard's that one, if you haven't read the books, if you've read the books, you definitely know who Treebeard is. Treebeard was that tree that came to life and carried Merry and Pippin and all that. You know, Treebeard was around at the beginning of the earth, and just like Treebeard is deep. You know, he's like quite a king. You know, Treebeard, he's down to earth, practical. He enjoys the natural pleasures. He is generous with a flair for business. You know, once he realized what was going on, he figured out what was going on quicker than anyone in the whole story. Figured out who the bad guy was, and went for it, you know. You can, you know, if you don't think that's true, ask Merry and Pippin. He finds a new direction in matters of allocation, prestige, and a better Middle Earth without Saruman. He is a giant in wisdom and the ways and history of Middle Earth. Worldly success. He is a master of trees, which is the master of plants. He makes things grow. He's the king of earth. He knows how to use his power for abundance. He is trustworthy. I can't say enough good things about Treebeard. Okay, and that was our first one for the court cards. We did the kings. So next we will go to number 3, Binah, and look at the queens in each suit. I hope you enjoyed the court cards there. Those are some cool pictures.